Hi friends, welcome to Funshine Fab Crochet. I'm Kelsey and today I wanted to show you how I make the skirt. This one is midi length and I'm going to make mine mini length, but of course you can continue on any length you want, maxi, ultra mini, follow your heart. But I will be showing you how I made the waistband, how I make the pattern, how I make this ruffly bit at the end, and how I make the drawstring. So let's get started on that. I'll be using a 5mm hook for almost this entire project, but I will let you know when I switch. And you can use as many colors as you want, whatever yarn you want, but I got this from the Dollar Tree. Also, I'm going to put on screen about how many yards you need in yarn to make this skirt in the mini length that I'm making it. I'm going to start with my turquoise and we are going to start on the waistband together. So to make the waistband, I'm going to take my blue yarn and I'm going to chain 4. And then going back down that chain, I am going to single crochet in the first stitch, chain 1, skip that middle stitch, and then single crochet in the first chain. I said stitch when I meant chain there in the middle, but you get the vibe. So again, I'm going to chain 1, and this time rotate the work. I'm going to single crochet in that first stitch, single crochet in that loop we just made by chaining 1 and skipping a stitch like that, and then chain 1 in that first stitch. So chain 1, rotate, single crochet in that first stitch, chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet, chain 1, rotate, single crochet in that hole, single crochet. Now I'm making the waistband pretty thin, as you can tell. You can make it thicker if you want, but just know that we are going to continue with this color after the waistband is made, so it's going to look thicker than this soon. Also, you of course don't have to put the holes. I just like having a place to stick my drawstring through. So again, chain 1, rotate, single crochet, crocheted into that hole last round, so I'm gonna chain 1, skip that stitch, single crochet at the end, chain 1, rotate, single crochet into the hole, and then single crochet at the end. I'm gonna repeat this all the way until it fits my waist. It's gonna look smaller than it should to fit your waist because this is really stretchy, and I'll show you how we join the ends together in a sec. And here I am back with 64 rows. I will tell you I'm making a medium, so if you're making a medium, try out 64 rows. I always end on a row in which I crocheted into the hole. So I'm just going to line them up. You should be at this end and your tail of your yarn should be at the opposite end here. So to join them, I am going to rotate this, not chain 1, and just stick my hook straight into those loops. Then on this end, the corresponding loops there at the end, I'm going to stick my hook through and I'm going to slip stitch. Second single crochet in the middle, and then that first hole that we started with, single crochet those together. And then that at the end, on both ends, single crochet them together. This was 64 rows that I made for a medium. A small, you might do fewer rows. A large, you might do more. It's not about the number, just once you join these ends together, try pulling this up over your hips to your waist to see if it fits. Now I'm going to chain 1, and we're not going to be crocheting into traditional stitches because we're going to be going along this edge. So it might be a little bit difficult to figure out where to crochet at first. But I'm going to make half doubles all along this edge, and I'm going to add an increase in every other stitch. After I chain 1, I'm going to half double once, and in the next stitch, well, the next loop, I'm going to half double twice. Next stitch, next loop, half double once, next one, half double twice, half double once, half double twice. And I'm going to repeat this all the way across the waistband till I get back at the beginning. Once you've added all your half doubles all the way around, you're just going to slip stitch into that first half double at the beginning. Then to make the next row, you're just going to chain 2, rotate, double crochet once in the first stitch, double crochet once in the second stitch, and then double crochet twice in the third. In this row though, you're going to need to count your stitches as you go. So just remember to double crochet twice in every third stitch as you count. And as I get to the end here with my double crochet row, I am just going to slip stitch into that first double crochet. If it's looking all wacky and zany and wavy like this, don't fret, that's a good thing. The skirt's supposed to be loose fitting except the waistband. This will work itself out as we keep going. I counted as I went around and I had 130 stitches in this row. And that's great news because for a small, I recommend about 115. For a medium, I recommend about 130. For a large, I recommend about 145. You know, a bigger size, I would go up 15, so on and so forth. A smaller size, I would go down from 115. But the skirt is supposed to be loose fitting, so, you know, adjust accordingly. And if you're still unsure about the sizing, feel free to try it on now. Okay, and now we're going to start the fun part of the pattern. So I've chained 1 and rotated. And in that first stitch there, I'm just going to half double. Then I'm going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and half double in that next one. Chain 1, skip a stitch, and half double in the next. Chain 1, skip a stitch, half double in the next. You're probably seeing a pattern. You're going to do this for the whole row. As I get to the end of this row, I of course have a stitch left. So I'm just going to chain 1 as usual and then slip stitch into that first half double. Then I'm going to cut that blue yarn there and I'm going to start with my purple. So starting with that purple yarn on my hook, I am going to rotate this, and right to the right of that blue yarn tail, I am going to slip stitch into that first little stitch there. I'm only going to chain 1. Get these tails out of the way so you can see. And then in that next little loop there, right next to the blue yarn tail, I'm going to single crochet. So up next, we have a hole. I'm going to double crochet into the loops underneath it with this part up top behind my hook. So it's going to go like this. Yarn over, go through those loops, and just double crochet right in front of the loop on top. Like that. Then in the next stitch, I'm going to single crochet. You have a loop or a hole up next. So I'm going to yarn over with this behind my hook. I'm going to go through there and just double crochet. So it should look like that. And you're going to repeat this pattern of single crochet, and then double crochet into the places with holes. So it's going to look like this on one side and this on the other. It is a little different on each side, and luckily, if you haven't weaved in any ends yet, it's still reversible. So you get to choose which side you like better. Doesn't matter. So single crochet, and then double into the hole there. I'm going to repeat this for the whole row. And then I'm just going to slip stitch into that first single crochet at the beginning. So this is what that row should be looking like. I'm going to chain one, rotate, half double in that first stitch, chain one, skip a stitch, half double in that next, chain one, skip a stitch, half double in that next. Exactly what we did the last row of the turquoise yarn. All the way around, skipping a stitch between every half double. Gonna make sure there's a stitch there, chain one, and slip stitch into that first half double. Then I am ready to cut my purple and continue with my blue. And with that blue, just like before, I'm gonna find that little stitch right next to the tail of the purple, slip stitch into there, chain one, and then I am going to single crochet in that first little stitch to the left of the yarn tail right there, and then double crochet into that hole. Single crochet into that next stitch, double crochet into the hole. Repeat this for the whole row, single crochet, double crochet into the hole. All right, and as I wrap up this row here, of course, to continue the length of the skirt, I would chain one, rotate, and then make a row of the half doubles with the chain one in between. So it makes the holes to set myself up for the next row of purple. However, if the skirt was the length I wanted, I could either end with this stitch here, or if you want your skirt to have this ruffly finish, like this one, all you would have to do from here is chain two and then double crochet 3 times in every stitch all the way around, and that makes it ruffly. But I'm going to continue with the length by doing half doubles with a chain one between every one. And as I wrap up this row, slip stitch in the beginning, and then I'm going to cut my blue yarn and continue with the purple. So like I said before, if you haven't weaved in your ends at all yet, the skirt is still reversible. The sides look just a little bit different, so you can choose which one you prefer. I like this side better. Using a 6mm hook, I'm going to tie 2 strands of yarn around my hook to make the drawstring. You don't have to do this, but the thicker it is, the more secure it feels. And then I'm going to chain 125 times. When I get to the end of that, I'm going to cut both strands, pull that loop tight. I'm going to trim them to the same length, but make sure there's extra. I like to put my seam where we slip stitch the drawstring together. I like to put that at the side, but you can put it at the back, the front, doesn't really matter. So with that at the side, I'm gonna lay it flat and just start weaving this guy all the way through. And that is the drawstring. I would normally not do this step till the end, but for showing you purposes, we did it now. And this is where I'm gonna set you free to make your skirt whatever length you want. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing for more tutorials. Maybe leave a comment of things you'd like to see in the future going forward. Here is my skirt. I will see you soon. Bye.